You're diving toward the seafloor, 40 meters down, sunlight fading fast above you as the water darkens around you. Your fingers close around something in the silt. Not sponge, but an arm, reaching straight up out of the seabed. For one frozen second, you think you've found a body. It's bronze, part of a wreck that's been sitting down here for 2,000 years. You have no idea that the corroded, forgettable lump you're about to drag to the surface is about to force historians to rewrite what they thought the ancient world was capable of. What if you'd swum straight past it? What if the Antikythera Mechanism had simply stayed lost? It's 1900, and you're one of a crew of sponge divers from the island of Simi, blown into these waters by a storm further off your usual route than anyone planned. You hand the lump over without much thought, one heavy piece of corrosion among crates of statues and coins that look far more valuable sitting on the deck of your boat. 2 years pass before anyone looks at it twice. In May 1902, a curator at the National Archaeological Museum named Valerios Stais notices something buried in the corrosion that nobody else caught. A single bronze gear, cut with teeth as fine as a modern clock's, pressed flat into a lump everyone had already written off as scrap. That's the gap this whole story sits inside. Today, that same lump, split now into 82 separate fragments, some no bigger than a coin, sits behind reinforced glass in the National Archaeological Museum, and visitors walk straight past marble gods and painted pottery just to stand in front of a case the size of a shoebox. 90% of what's inside has corroded past saving. And out of that 90% lost, researchers have rebuilt a machine so far ahead of its time that nothing else like it shows up again for well over 1,000 years. Here's the official picture, pieced together since 1901. A hand-cranked bronze machine, roughly the size of a shoebox, built somewhere in the Greek world around 150 to 100 BCE. Turn the crank, and a chain of gears, at least 30 of them, some cut with more than 200 teeth apiece, comes alive behind the dials. The front face tracks the sun and moon moving against the zodiac, while a smaller dial nearby works out a 19-year cycle that keeps the solar and lunar calendars from drifting apart. Flip it over, and the back predicts eclipses years before they happen and tracks the 4-year rhythm of the ancient Olympic Games. It is, in every meaningful sense, the world's first known analog computer for decades. Almost nobody took that claim seriously. It sounded too advanced to be real. And the person who first insisted otherwise spent years being quietly dismissed for saying so. That person was Yale historian Derek de Solla Price, who published his X-ray findings in 1974 under the title Gears from the Greeks, arguing the fragments held a genuine geared calendar computer, not scrap. Most of his colleagues assumed he was overreaching. Then, in 2005, a team using microfocus X-ray scanning finally saw past 2,000 years of corrosion into the mechanism's core, revealing inscriptions and gear teeth too fine to read with the naked eye, and proving Price had been right all along. And that's where the real problem starts. Devices built with this level of interlocking precision, differential gearing, epicyclic gearing to model the moon's uneven orbit, don't show up anywhere else in the historical record for the next 1,500 years. Not in Rome, not in Byzantium, not until European clockmakers in the 1300s finally catch up to a level of mechanical complexity the Greeks had already reached over a millennium earlier. But here's what doesn't add up. A machine this refined doesn't get invented in isolation. Gearing this precise implies practice, failed prototypes, an established workshop tradition, maybe even other machines like it. And yet, for over a century, archaeologists have come up empty across an entire sea's worth of searching. Divers have mapped shipwreck after shipwreck along these same ancient trade routes. Excavators have opened tombs specifically looking for this kind of technology. Even known ruins have been picked apart down to their foundations, hoping something matches. None of it has ever turned up anything remotely like this machine. Just this single, impossible device sitting at the bottom of the sea with no ancestors and no descendants anyone has ever found. That question sat unanswered for over a century. Then, in 2024, a physicist looked at the mechanism through a lens nobody had tried before and found something that changed the math entirely. Professor Graham Wone and his colleague Joseph Bailey at the University of Glasgow weren't trained in ancient history. They study gravitational waves, ripples in space-time picked up by some of the most sensitive instruments on Earth. In early 2024, they turned those same statistical techniques on a single, badly damaged ring inside the mechanism. A calendar ring meant to track the days of the year. Earlier researchers had guessed it held 365 holes, matching the Egyptian calendar. Using methods built to find faint patterns hidden in cosmic noise, Wone and Bailey calculated something different. The ring almost certainly held 354 holes, tracking the Greek lunar year instead, with the holes spaced to a tolerance of just 0.028 millimeters. That's engineering precision most people assume needed industrial machining to achieve. Yet ancient craftsmen managed it entirely by hand, in bronze over 2,000 years ago. Their paper leaned on years of painstaking measurements first published by researcher Chris Budiselic in 2020, proof that even a modern rediscovery like this one is built in layers, one careful pair of hands at a time. And the ring wasn't the only thing hiding a secret. Because while researchers were remeasuring the machine on land, archaeologists went back to where it came from. The wreck itself, sitting on the seafloor exactly where it had been for 2,000 years. And in 2024, they found something down there that nobody had accounted for. Led by Dr. Angeliki Simosi and Professor Lorenz Baumer of the University of Geneva, an international team spent the 2024 and 2025 diving seasons mapping the wreck in far more detail than the original 1900 salvage ever managed. They recovered a rare, still connected section of the ship's hull, planks and internal framing locked together, made from elm and oak that may date back as far as 235 BCE. But 200 meters away, in a second excavation zone, they found something that shouldn't have been part of the same wreck at all. Timbers and cargo from what appears to be an entirely separate ship, sitting almost beside the first one. Which means the story everyone has told about this shipwreck for over a century might be incomplete. Was it one ship that went down in a single disaster, or two ships that sank together, in the same storm, in the same place? Nobody has settled that question yet, and every dive season since 2021 keeps turning up more of the wreck than anyone expected was still down there. Divers have already pulled marble statue fragments from the site in recent years. Human remains too. Bone fragments researchers are still trying to extract usable DNA from. It's an attempt to finally answer a much simpler question no gear or dial can settle on its own. Who was actually on board, but underneath the gear ratios, the hull timbers, the arguments about how many ships actually sank here, there's a much older, quieter fact buried in all of it. One that has nothing to do with bronze at all. Here's something almost nobody expects. The maker didn't just build this machine. He wrote a manual for it, engraving instructions directly onto the mechanism's own bronze plates, explaining what each dial meant and how to read it. Researchers Yanis Bitsakis and Alexander Jones spent years piecing together those inscriptions, publishing their full decoding in 2016. Thousands of tiny characters, some barely a few millimeters tall. That's not the work of someone building a private curiosity for themselves alone. That's someone assuming this machine would outlive them, that someone else, someday, would need to understand it. He was wrong about the someday part. Not one surviving ancient text names an inventor. Not one contemporary source describes anything like this device. Whoever engraved those instructions built something that wouldn't be matched again for 1,500 years, and then watched their own name disappear from history completely, manual and all. That's not really a story about gears. That's a story about how easily brilliance vanishes, even when someone tries, on purpose, to make sure it wouldn't. The mechanism didn't get forgotten the slow way, through generations of half-remembering. It went down with the ship, instructions and all, and for 2,000 years, nobody on Earth even knew there was a manual to lose. Not the Romans who came after. Not the medieval scholars who spent centuries trying to model the heavens with cruder tools of their own. It took a storm blowing a sponge diver off his usual route, and a curator 2 years later willing to look twice at a lump of scrap to give any of it a second chance, the machine and the knowledge it was built to pass on. That's the thread this channel keeps pulling. The pieces of the past that almost slipped through the cracks for good. If that kind of near miss keeps you up at night the way it does us, subscribe, because the next one is already in the works. Now picture yourself back on that dive in 1900, lungs already burning, the arm you just spotted still half buried in the silt below you, with no idea what you're actually holding. You don't know yet that this corroded lump is about to rewrite how advanced the ancient world really was, or that 2 years from now, a curator named Valerios Stais is going to notice one gear tooth and refuse to move on to the next crate. If Stais had looked away, if the Antikythera Mechanism really had just stayed lost, filed away as unremarkable scrap, none of what came after would have had a reason to happen. Nobody would have gone looking for a second wreck a century later. No physicist in Glasgow would have run cosmic noise statistics on a calendar ring in 2024. There'd be no proof at all that the ancient world could build anything like this in the first place. The machine got its second chance. The manual engraved onto its own bronze got read again, 2,000 years late, by people the maker never could have imagined. The only thing that never came back is the one thing he actually engraved all those instructions for someone to know, his own name. Somewhere on the floor of the Aegean, a stranger who wanted badly to be understood still is.